Hi, I'm Dr. Vince Belanzi. It's a pleasure to be back with you again. I want to talk tonight about weight loss. It's a subject that everybody's worried about. And the problem is that diets don't work. I mean, that's the first thing that we have to discuss. Everybody has tried a diet. I haven't met the person yet that hasn't tried something. From kids to people in their 80s, everybody has tried some kind of diet. And they just don't work. In fact, the interesting thing is in recent studies, when they looked at a lot of these major diets, some good ones, Atkins, the Zone, they put them all together statistically, and do you know that they only found a 10-pound weight loss on average? Now, these people lost 100 pounds and gained it back, of course, but all that work, all that money, all those books, all those videos for 10 pounds of weight loss, it just doesn't make sense. So the truth is, what we have to do is identify a lifestyle that will allow you to stay at a weight that's healthy for you. That's a much different way of thinking than there's all this crash dieting that goes on. In fact, I am not a proponent of fasting. I don't use it for detoxification, I don't use it for cleansing, and I don't think it's a good way to lose weight because you end up changing your body in a way that's going to make it harder each time to lose that weight. That whole idea of yo-yo dieting just does not work. What you have to learn is how to take care of yourself. You have to learn the appropriate foods. You have to make better choices. That's the only way that's going to work. So in our clinic, we teach a lifestyle program, and it's so important that you learn some of these concepts. One thing that I tell all the classes, there's some good research showing that a couple things that you can do right now will help you lose weight. One of them is just eating breakfast. Very well done study proved that the people who ate breakfast had a much easier time keeping the weight off and losing it when they had to. So promise me that you're going to eat breakfast. In fact, promise me that you're going to eat lunch and dinner as well, because eating 3 meals a day is the best tool you have to losing weight. Now, it doesn't seem to make logical sense, but it's the truth. Eating breakfast, you fasted all night, your body needs nutrients. If you don't give your body that nutrients, you're going to eat yourself. And when you eat yourself, you eat good lean tissue, which is your ability to lose weight. Also, if you don't eat breakfast, you're going to be starving by the end of the day. You're probably going to eat things that wouldn't have been the best of a choice. So eat your breakfast. The next thing is get enough sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, there's good studies showing that you're going to have a lot of problems with weight and health and everything else. In fact, 7.5 hours seem to be about the golden average. Too little sleep was a problem. Too much sleep was a problem. Getting enough sleep is very important. One of the big reasons, if you don't get into that third stage, that deep sleep, you won't make growth hormone. Extremely important as far as hormonal balance and your ability to lose weight. Also, if you're not sleeping, all of your other hormones and many neurotransmitters aren't produced in the right amounts, aren't balanced. So there's two things you can do right now. Just eat your breakfast and get enough sleep, and you won't have such a battle with losing weight. The other thing that we teach in our lifestyle class is a concept called glycemic index. Now, you may or may not have heard about this before, but it's a really good tool. Don't make it complicated. Keep it really easy. Start identifying the glycemic index. Now, glycemic index is actually a measure of how quickly the time is between eating a food and it becoming sugar in your blood. So it's very easy to find on the internet. You can find books. There's a lot of references. If you simply keep your glycemic index under 55, that forces you to eat better foods. It's as easy as that. You don't have to multiply or worry about complexing or all these other things that get involved. Just simply keep your glycemic index low. The other thing you have to do, I'm sorry to say, is exercise. Now, you can call it activity, you can call it whatever you want, but you have to do some daily, consistent movement. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to burn fat. We do a test in our office on the metabolic rate. I can also test and see at rest what somebody's burning. Guess what I find with most people that are gaining weight? They're carb burners. They don't even burn the fat. Now, of course, there's a little bit of fat being burned all the time, but I can't even measure it. Now, I take a triathlete, put them on the same equipment. They're sitting in a chair burning fat. They're losing weight sitting in a chair or lying down. Isn't that what you'd like to be able to do? You can't do that without activity. If you're not a fat burner, you can make yourself one just by being consistently active every day. I can test it, and we see it in the clinic. Those are some secrets to losing weight. It's not that hard, but it does take some effort. Now, in the clinic, we do use a few things. We do hormone therapy. We use bioidentical hormones, and we find that in manipulating the hormones and helping you to balance your hormones, not really using things like drugs, but we are using something that's by prescription. If we balance your hormones, you're also going to have an easier time. You probably know that thyroid regulates your metabolism, and that's an important hormone to look at. But all the hormones work together. We also have to look at insulin and glucagon. So as we assess these hormones and bring them into balance, people just have a lot easier time controlling their weight. And that's another thing that we do in our program. We're also using a hormone called HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. Now this particular hormone, it was found years ago that the hormone was able to release from a mother to a child every bit of fat that she had stored so that the child would survive. Even women that were either in famine or starving were able to produce a healthy weight baby. So we're using that same hormone to allow you to release fat. You still have it exercise, but if you'll exercise and you're using the HCG, you can actually release fat. And we find that has been a really good tool. We've got people losing around 1 pound a day on that hormone. But you also have things you don't even have to get a prescription. There's a product called CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, and it's an over-the-counter substance. It also helps you to release some fat. So a lot of athletes use it in order to have better endurance. They can go longer and faster. But if you'll use it as a weight loss, you want to take it about 30 minutes before you do your activity. It'll release some fat to your system. And if you'll burn that fat, you're going to lose weight. So there's a lot of techniques you can use in the way of weight loss. It's not about just eating less calories. Somewhat it's about having more activity so you do burn calories. But it's not a simple equation of calories in, calories out. There's a lot going on. But you have control over it. In fact, it's interesting that we do genetic testing. And in the nutrigenomic work that we do, which means that we're looking at how nutrition affects genetic expression, we're actually finding that if people just address their genes and take the right supplements and do the right things, your genetic expression is changed by your lifestyle. Now that means you have control. Your genes don't mean you're going to have big bones and carry a lot of weight. Your genes were given to you, and it depends on how you treat them for the results that you're going to get. So start taking control, start taking some responsibility. Even the U.S. government says it's about 66% up to you. In other words, 33% is genetic, the rest is up to you. By my research, I think it's more like 25%. That means 75% of the picture is yours. So you can't blame your parents if you're overweight. You can't blame the neighbor. You can't really blame the food companies. You have to blame yourself. We're not really placing blame here, but what I'm saying is you have to take some personal responsibility. If you have any more questions, feel free to check out our website. It's www.bewellrx.com. I'm Dr. Vince Belanzi. If you have any questions, please visit our website. You can email us from there. Thanks a lot.